7 days a week.
High Power 102.7 FM, the voice that echoes through of the people.
How now arrange that?
On Friday, I'm the one that fixed it. It's what it used to be like that before.
Okay, you have to step in.
Yes, it's a beautiful Friday morning to you listeners out there. The program you're on to is in the papers and it's coming to you from iPower 102.7 FM. It's a program where we preview and review newspaper headlines for your listening pleasure. I am Inioluwa Adekoya, and today I've got with me the Punch newspaper, the Oak newspaper, the Daily Post newspaper, and the Nation newspaper. Right about now, we will take a short break. When we get back, we'll give you the headlines in the papers today. Yes, beginning on the list of the headlines this morning from the Punch newspaper and talking Ondo State. Ayedatiwa versus Tunji Ojo, political cold war sparks killings, violence in Ondo. Still talking headlines from the Oak newspaper, talking 1 year anniversary. We're working for prosperous on Ayedatiwa assures. And now to Osun State. Adeleke congratulates new Osun and UJ leadership, and that is on the Oak newspaper. And now added to Ekiti, where I've got this from the Oak newspaper. Free UTME beneficiaries not to pay additional fees. Ekiti government warns. Now I take a flight to the Daily Post newspaper. NRC adjusts Abuja Kaduna train schedule ahead of FCT elections. Still on the Daily Post newspaper, Nigeria elected UN Peacekeeping Committee chair. And now now this is on the Daily Post newspaper coming from the ADC. EFCC only efficient towards opposition, says ADC. Still on the Daily Post newspaper, bandits kill several abduct women, children in Sokoto. Still on the Daily Post newspaper, talking election matters. INEC registered over 1.2 million new voters in ongoing TVR exercise. Still on the Daily Post newspaper, Nigerian government orders closure of Play 2 mining site after death of 37 miners. And now to the Punch newspaper, police arrest prosecute TikToker over false rape claim. Still on the Punch newspaper, Naira 2-year high at 1,347 per dollar. Still on the Punch newspaper, DSS invites suspect as wife opens up about Daddy Yatta's abduction. Yes, and with that, we will take another short break. When we get back, we will give you more stories and more headlines in the papers this morning. Keep it locked to iPower 102.7 FM, and once again the program is in the papers. Yes, glad to have you back. Like I said earlier, the program you're onto is in the papers, and it's coming to you from no other station but iPower 102.7 FM. Beginning on the top of the list of our stories this morning from the Punch newspaper, Ayedatiwa vs. Tunji Ojo, political cold war sparks killings, violence in Ondo State. And now to the details. In line with the directive of the National Secretariat of the All Progressive Congresses to elect party officials at the world, local government and state levels were scheduled for February and March this year. However, concerns are mounting that exercise in Ondo State could be marred by crisis and perceived supremacy battle between Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa and Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, popularly known as BTO. The alleged battle of control of Ondo APC took a deadly turn on Wednesday when 2 people were reportedly killed and 5 others injured during a violent clash at the World Congress in Odode Idonri, the headquarters of Idonri local government area. The incident occurred as the ruling party conducted congresses across the 203 wards in the state. The unrest is believed to be a spillover from Tuesday's disruption at the party secretariat in Accra, where suspected hoodlums stormed a stakeholders meeting and assaulted party leaders. Among the victims was Raphael Adetimehin, younger brother of the state APC caretaker chairman. Adetimehin was sustained machete wounds after attackers allegedly mistook him for his brother due to their resemblance. Eyewitnesses reported that his vehicle was set ablaze before he was rushed to the General Hospital in Dori, where he remains in coma. By party tradition and structure, the governor is widely regarded as the leader of the party at the state level, just as the president occupies the position nationally as a minister appointed by the president. Tunji Ojo technically falls within that federal hierarchy. However, recent development suggests that Ondo State chapter of the APC has quietly split into 2 blocks, one aligned with Governor Ayedatiwa and the other with the Interior Minister. Although neither Ayedatiwa or Tunji Ojo has has openly acknowledged any rifts or signs of tension have fueled speculations. As the recently concluded 50th anniversary celebration of Ondo State, both men publicly displayed cordiality. A viral video showed them exchanging warm embraces at the government house in Abaka. They also sat side by side at the grand finale held at the Akure Township Stadium, where Tunji Ojo represented President Bola Tinubu. At the least outwardly, there was no visible sign of animosity. Behind the scene, however, party sources claim the minister has been playing an increasingly influential role within the state chapter. Tunji Ojo is said to have cultivated strong ties with party elders and stakeholders, providing financial support and attending to their needs. Gestures that have reportedly earned him loyalty and reverence amongst members. He is also believed to be coordinating various support groups working for the President Tinubu re-election across the state. Some beneficiaries of the minister's outreach have allegedly accused Governor Aiyedatiwa of not doing enough to strengthen party structure despite being the state chief executive. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline Aiyedatiwa versus Tunji Ojo, political cold war sparks killings, violence in Ondo State. Yes, and now to the opening newspaper talking 1 year anniversary. We're working on a prosperous Ondo, Aiyedatiwa assures. And now to the details. Governor of Ondo State, Dr. Oluki Orimison Aiyedatiwa has commissioned major roads across Akure metropolis, including the Goba Township Road and the Alabaka Extension Road behind SIB, as part of activities marking the first anniversary of his administration. The governor described the occasion as both joyful and symbolic, expressing gratitude to Almighty God and emphasizing the transformative impact of the project on residents, traders, and road users across the state. He stated, and I quote, "This project are critical infrastructure initiatives and connect communities, facilitate commerce, and reflect our commitment to delivering the dividends of good governance." The completed road projects include Gbadagbalogun Odole, Odilowo Road, Laoke Pedro, Odokwet Road, Ecobank Okearata Road, Ajegule Road, Oja Oshodi Road, SK Bright Street, Ayeloro Street, and Igoba Road. Aiyedatiwa further highlighted Igoba Road as a reference point for the administration's broader infrastructure agenda, noting its role in linking communities, supporting trade, and driving socio-economic development. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Old newspaper with the headline on 1 year anniversary. We're working for prosperous Ondo, Aiyedatiwa reassures. Yes, still on the Old newspaper, and now to Osun State. Adeleke congratulates new Osun and UJ leadership. And now to details. The governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, has congratulated Comrade Adeyemi Aboderin on his emergence as the chairman of the Osun State Council of Nigerian Union of Journalists and UJ. In a congratulatory message issued by his spokesperson, Malam Olawale Rashid, the governor also extended goodwill to other members of the newly elected executive, stating that their emergence reflects the council's tradition of placing premium on competence, professionalism, and service. It further noted that the pedigree, experience, and credibility of the new leadership inspires confidence that the union will continue to strengthen public trust in journalism and contribute to democratic growth in the state. Governor Adekoya assured the NUJ of his administration's readiness to maintain a constructive partnership with the media, emphasizing the vital role journalists play in promoting accountability, transparency, and good governance. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Old newspaper with the headline, Adeleke congratulates new Osun NUJ leadership. Yes, still on the Oak newspaper, free UTME beneficiaries not to pay additional fees Ekiti government wants. Now to the details. The Ekiti government has cautioned the 3,400 beneficiaries of its free Unified Tertiary Matriculation UTME registration initiative against paying any additional fee to any registration center to obtain their registration pins, insisting that all approved candidates have been fully paid for. The State Commissioner for Education, Dr. Mrs. Kofoworola Adekoya, gave this warning during a monitoring visit to selected registration centers to assess the smooth takeoff of the state-sponsored exercise. Dr. Adekoya reiterated that the state's Free Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, and West African Examination Council, WAEC, registration initiatives were introduced to remove financial barriers to higher education and empower students, particularly those from undeserved backgrounds, to pursue their academic and career ambition. The commissioner said, and I quote, "The government is paid for these funds in full. Candidates selected under these interventions are not expected to make any additional payment whatsoever, and a request from extra charges is unauthorized and should be reported immediately." If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Old newspaper with the headline, Free UTME beneficiaries not to pay additional fees the Ekiti government wants. And now I take a flight to the Daily Post newspaper, and I see adjust Abuja Kaduna train schedule ahead of FCT elections. And now to the details. Ahead of the Federal Capital Territory FCT Area Council elections scheduled for Saturday, February 21st, 2026, the Nigerian Railway Corporation has announced a temporary adjustment to the Abuja Kaduna train timetable. The change was disclosed in a statement issued by the Corporation Chief Public Relations Officer, Callistus Unyamadu. According to the statement, the outbound train service from Abuja to Kaduna on election day will depart earlier than usual. He said, and I quote, the statement reads, and I quote, "There will be slight adjustment to outbound train schedule from Abuja to Kaduna on Saturday, the 21st of February 2026, due to FCT Council elections," adding that the train will now leave at 7:30 a.m. The corporation clarified that the inbound service from Kaduna to Abuja will not be affected and will continue to depart by 2:30 p.m. as scheduled. Passengers were also advised to plan ahead and arrive at the station early in anticipation of the movement restrictions associated with the election. The statement further noted normal train service will resume on Sunday. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, NRC adjusts Abuja Kaduna train schedule ahead of FCT elections. Yesterday on the Daily Post newspaper, Nigeria elected UN Peacekeeping Committee chair. And now to the details. Nigeria has been elected to chair the United Nations Special Committee on Peacekeeping Operations, known as the UN Most Strategic Committee, for the record 54th time. Charged Affairs Permanent Mission of Nigeria to the United States, Sinduf Andoni, was elected chair of the committee, also known as C34 by acclamation, at the United Nations headquarters in New York during the opening of 2026 session. Nigeria's standing recurring as chair of the UN Special Committee on Peacekeeping Operations from 1972 to date, and has frequently been re-elected to lead the most critical committee of the United Nations. The long-standing tenure reflects Nigeria's position as one of the largest troops contributors to a UN peacekeeping operations. Nigeria is also among the world's 15th largest troop contributors to UN peacekeeping operations and 8th in Africa. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Nigeria elected UN Peacekeeping Committee chair. Still on the Daily Post newspaper, EFCC only efficient towards opposition, says ADC. And now to the details. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, says the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, appears only efficient towards the opposition. The national spokesman of the party, Bolaji Abdullahi, made this allegation yesterday when he featured in an interview with On Arise TV. It was taken on the arrest and detention of former Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, Abubakar Malami, and that of former Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai. He stated, and I quote, "We have the EFCC and the Independent Corrupt Practices and our Related Offences Commission, ICPC, to national institutions funded by public money to probe and investigate corruption charges and prosecute people for corruption practices. They appear to be only efficient and effective when opposition figures are involved, and we are concerned that national institutions are being turned into partisan agents, because all you need to do is to look at the side of the government and see the kind of individuals in the ranks of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, people who still have court cases, people who have been investigated in the past, and suddenly, moments they join the ruling party, they use broom to sweep it under the carpet. So we're not saying El-Rufai, Malami is guilty or not guilty. We're concerned about the bastardization of national institution and weaponization of institution against opposition figures," he said. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, EFCC only efficient towards opposition, says ADC. Still on the Daily Post newspaper, bandits kill several abduct women, children in Sokoto. And now to the details. Bandits on Wednesday night launched a violent attack on the Dabangin Yari community in Wuno local government area of Sokoto State, killing several people and injuring many others. A large number of residents, including women and children, were abducted during the assault. Security analyst Bakar Sain disclosed details of the attack on yesterday in a post on X. He said, and I quote, "Last night, bandits invaded the Bangin Yari community of Wuno local government area of Sokoto State. During the attack, several residents were killed, many others sustained injuries, and a high number of people, including women and children, were abducted. The assault has left the community in deep fear and mourning. How can anyone justify calling such bandits Muslims and claiming their crimes are acts of jihad? And Islam clearly forbids the murder of innocents, the kidnapping of women and children, and the spread of terror. Bakassin wrote. Authorities have yet to confirm details surrounding this incident. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Bandits Kill Several Women, Abduct Children in Sokoto. Still on the Daily Post newspaper, INEC registers over 1.2 million new voters in ongoing TBR exercise. And now to the details. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced a significant rise in voters' enrollment under the ongoing continuous voter registration CVR exercise, revealing that more than 1.2 million Nigerians have successfully registered in second phase of the program. In an update shared on its official X platform yesterday, the Commission disclosed as of February 13, 2026, a total of 1 million plus eligible voters have completed registration during phase 2 weeks of the exercise. This represents a sharp increase from the 884 plus registrants recorded as the close of week 5. INEX data shows that 673 plus applicants initiated their registration through online pre-registration portal, while 505 plus individuals finalized the process at designated physical registration centers nationwide. A state-by-state analysis indicates that Jigawa State recorded the highest number of new registrants, with 98,000 voters, accounting for 8.3% of the total figure. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, INEC registers over 1.2 million new voters in ongoing CVR exercise. Yes, the program you're still on to is in the papers, and it's coming to you from iPower 102.7 FM. You can watch us live on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at iPower 1027 FM, and you can watch us on X at iPower 1027. The time has come right about now. We will take a short break. When we get back, we will give you more stories and more headlines coming your way shortly in the papers this morning. Glad to have you back. Like I said earlier, the program you're onto is in the papers and coming to you from no other station but iPower 102.7 FM. And now back to our stories this morning on the Daily Post newspaper. Nigerian government orders closure of Plateau mining site after death of 37 miners. And now to the details. The Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, has ordered the immediate sealing of mining site in Zurakwasi local government area of Plateau State, following the death of 37 miners. The directive was announced in a statement issued recently in Abuja by Special Assistant on Media Shagun Tomori, according to news agencies of Nigeria. And the chairman of Wasi local government area, Amiswa Nani, confirmed that at least 37 miners died while 25 others were hospitalized in the hours of Tuesday. The victims were reportedly exposed to toxic gaseous emissions while mining at the underground site in Zurak. Alake said the affected areas falls under mining license 11810, operated by Solid Unit Nigerian Limited and owned by Abdullahi Dan China. He explained that the closure was necessary to contain the situation and allow for a full investigation. He further stated that he has dispatched teams of officials and investigators led by the Ministry Permanent Secretary Yusuf Yabo to determine both the remote and immediate cause of the incident and to recommend appropriate sanctions. According to the minister, the team includes experts in mining, environmental compliance, and artisanal cooperators. He further added that he is personally coordinating efforts to ensure effective management of the situation. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Nigerian government orders closure of Plateau mining site after death of 37 miners. Yes, the time has come for you to call in for comments and contributions to any of the stories read out to you. And the number to call is 0816 552 4699. 0816 552 4699. Now I fly to the Punch newspaper. El Rufai lawyers protest home raid amid ICPC detention. And now to the details. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El Rufai has spent his second night in the custody of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and protests by his lawyers over the research of his residence. El Rufai was initially detained on Monday by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and released late Wednesday. He was, however, immediately taken into custody by the ICPC, where he has remained since. Prior to his arrest, El Rufai has written to the ICPC through his lawyers, indicating his willingness to honor an invitation on Tuesday. That followed an incident at the airport where his passports were reportedly seized by the operatives of the Department of State Services. And ICPC officials confirmed recently that the former governor was still with the commission but declined to disclose details of the investigation. He said, and I quote, "He is still very much with us. I can't say the offense he's been investigated for. I have not really been in the office, but I was informed that the former Kaduna State Governor is still with us." The ICPC had earlier confirmed taking custody of El Rufai on Wednesday night, but similarly refused to state the officer's under the offense under investigation. There have been unverified claims that the probe is linked to a failed 11.1 billion naira joint venture Kaduna Light Rail project, but efforts to independently confirm this were unsuccessful. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, El Rufai lawyers protest home raid amid ICPC detention. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper, police to arrest prosecute TikTok over focus rape claim. And now to the details. The Ogun State Police Command has concluded plans to arrest and prosecute female TikToker user identified as Mirabel after she allegedly admitted that her earlier claim of rape was false. Mirabel was said to have made admission during a viral phone conversation with social media personality Very Dark Man, popularly known as VDM. Audio recording of the conversation shared online by VDM and obtained by a newsman on Thursday captured Mirabel admitting that aspects of her initial account were untrue. She said, and I quote, "Yes, sir, please help me. I am very sorry," she was heard saying after being confronted with messages she had earlier claimed were sent by an alleged attacker. During the exchange, she also acknowledged creating the threatening TikTok account herself to bolster a narrative. "I have been taking drugs, and I was not thinking clearly when I posted the videos," he reportedly said. A police source who spoke on condition of anonymity as it said he was not authorized to speak to the media. A divisional police officer and other senior officers were at the hospital when Mirabel was receiving treatment. The source added that she would be taken into custody upon discharge and charged in court. The source further said, "The DPO and senior police officers are currently at the hospital where she is admitted. Once she is discharged, she will be taken into custody and charge will be prepared against her for trial. The essence is to serve as a deterrent for others." If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper. The headline: Police to arrest prosecute TikToker over false rape claim. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper, Naira its 2-year high at 1,347 per dollar. And now to the details. The Naira strengthened sharply in recent weeks, reaching one of the strongest levels in nearly 2 years. Even as rising foreign portfolios and flow increased, the risk of investors' profits taken later in the year, according to macro updates by Cardinal Stone. According to the reports, the Naira has witnessed a steep appreciation in the official market, plus 6.9% year to date, reaching one of the level of the past 2 years, 1,347.78 per dollar on Monday, which indicates improved liquidity conditions in the official foreign exchange window. However, the spread between the official and parallel markets persisted, with the parallel market initially trading at about 5.7% premium before narrowing to roughly 3.2% following renewed FX interventions by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Cardinal Stone said the narrow spread suggests there was more liquidity in the official window than in the parallel market. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline: Naira its 2-year high at 1,347 per dollar. Yes, like I said earlier, for comments and contributions to any of the stories read out to you, the number to call is 0816 552 4699. The numbers again, 0816 552 4699. And now to the Punch newspaper. DSS invites suspect as wife opens up about Daddy Yatta abduction. And now to the details. The Department of State Service has reopened investigation into the 2019 disappearance of Abubakar Idris, popularly known as Daddy Yatta, and is set to invite suspects in connection with the case. Daddy Yatta, a lecturer at the Federal University of Dusima, Katsina State, was declared missing on August 1st, 2019, after gunmen reportedly took aim from his residence in Kaduna. His whereabouts remain unknown nearly 7 years later. The development comes as Khadija, the wife of social media commentator and critic, expressed fresh worries over her husband's disappearance. She spoke in a video interview with the ambassador-designate Renaud Omokri, which was released on X handle yesterday. Omokri, who visited the mother of two at her residence, sought support for Khadija and her children, pledging to get justice for her. She said, and I quote, "We pray that one day he will come back." Khadija said when she was asked that she had to say what she had to say about her husband's disappearance over the years, especially given recent comments made by former Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai. Appealing to Nigerians, she said they should please do whatever they can to help us know his whereabouts, if he is alive or not. Omokri further asked Khadija what she sad to say about the old comment made about her husband that suggested mockery. He said, and I quote, "It was somebody that showed me the post because I did not have a phone at that time." She said of the 2019 comment reportedly made by the son of the former Kaduna State Governor. The post had those same claims who encouraged him when he was creating false stories and capitalizing on lies that could endanger lives. So for political ends, other same individuals trending hashtags asking, "Where is Dadiyata?" Dangerous lies in the public space have consequences. I felt about it. The comment, "I can't even explain," Khadija stated in the video. She further narrated our husband has been abducted as he alighted from the car in the compound on August 2nd, 2019, saying she watched from the window as it happened, assuring Khadija of Dadiyata's safe return if he's alive, and justice in unlikely events of his death. Omokri emphasized with the woman and assistance for the family. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, "DSS invites suspect his wife opens up on Dadiyata's abduction." And now I take a flight to the Nation newspaper. Tinubu gets kudos for new electoral act. And now to the details. A stalwart of the All Progressive Congress in Ondo State, Dr. Inioluwa Adekoya, has lauded President Bola Tinubu for signing the Electoral Act Amendment Bill in 2026. He said the action reinforces trust and credibility in the democratic process. The bill, which amends key provisions of the 2022, was passed by the National Assembly on Tuesday following extensive debate and consultations. Awode said that the president's assent showed commitment to transparent, fair and inclusive election. In a statement recently in Abuja, the APC leader said the amendment addresses gaps in electoral jurisprudence and provides a stronger legal framework to conducting credible polls, particularly the 2027 general election. He further stated, and I quote, "Tinubu has shown leadership by signing this electoral reform bill into law." If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Nation newspaper with the headline, "Tinubu gets kudos for new electoral act." On the Nation newspaper, court reserves judgment in DSS 5.5 billion naira defamation suit against Serap. And now to the details. A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) in Maitama, Abuja, has reserved judgment till a date to be communicated to parties in a 5.5 billion defamation suit filed by two operatives of the Department of State Services (DSS) against the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP). Just Aliu Yusuf made the announcement recently after lawyers to the parties adopted the final written addresses and made their final submission in the suit filed by the two officers, Sarah Johnson and Gabriel Ogundele. Listed with SERAP as defendants in the suit is its deputy director, Kolawole Oluwadare. The claimants in the suit accuse SERAP of making false claims that John and Ogundele invaded the Abuja office on September 9, 2024, adopting the final written addresses of the claimant. Their lawyers, Oluwagbemileke Kehinde, urged the court to grant all the reliefs his client sought. If that still aligns with your interest, it is on the Nation newspaper with the headline: Court reserves judgment in DSS 5.5 billion naira defamation suit against SERAP. Still on the Nation newspaper, Adeleke cuts public servants' working hours. And now to the details. The Osun State Governor, Ademola Adeleke, has approved working hours for public servants in the state for Ramadan and Lent period. A statement by the governor's spokesperson, Olawale Rasheed, stated that the adjustment is intended to support workers during the fasting season, noting that the governor explained that the new schedule took effect yesterday. In a circular by the office of the head of the service titled Closure of Work during Ramadan and Lent fasting period dated February 19, 2026, signed by Elder Anyonleye Aino, read as part of the welfare package of the state government for its workforce. The governor, Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke, has graciously approved that public servants should close work by 2 p.m. from Monday to Thursdays and 1 p.m. on Friday during the ongoing Ramadan and Lent seasons only. He said, and I quote, "This gesture of the governor is to enable public servants to have sufficient time to pray for the existing peace and tranquility in the state to continue unhindered, more so that gubernatorial election is holding in the state this year. However, those on essential services, especially medical personnel, are excluded from the arrangement in view of the life-saving nature of the duties." If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Nation newspaper with the headline: Adeleke cuts public servants' working hours. Still on the Nation newspaper, 58.47 trillion naira budget 2026 within safe limits, State Finance Minister. And now to the detail. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Olawale Adekoya, yesterday assured that 58.472 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill in terms of size and assumption is within safe limits. He spoke when he led the economic team to defend the 2026 budget before the Senate Committee on Appropriation. Members of the team took turns to respond to questions from committee members led by Solomon Olamilekun Adeola, some of the questions centered on whether the size of the budget and its assumption were realistic, as well as how the 2024 and 2025 budget will be funded at the end of next month. As proposed, other members of the team included the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu, Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Daris Nkiruka Uzoka Anite, the Accountant General of the Federation, Mr. Shamsuddin Batunde Ogunjimi, and the Chairman of the Nigerian Service NRS, Dr. Zak Adedeji. And Father said parameters were well considered and aligned with standard budgeting practices. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Nation newspaper with the headline 58.47 trillion naira budget 2026 within safe limits, says Finance Minister. Yes, still on the Nation newspaper, Navy loses chief of operations. And now to the details. The Nigerian Navy has confirmed the death of its chief of operations, Rear Admiral Musa Katagum. A respected senior officer, Katagum was the chief of naval intelligence, made invaluable contributions that were instrumental to the Navy's recent operational success. Confirming Katagum's demise, the Director of Naval Information, DINFO, Captain Abiodun Folorunsho, described the deceased as a dedicated senior officer whose career was marked by exceptional professionalism, commitment to duty, and invaluable contributions to naval operation and national security. He said, and I quote, throughout his distinguished service in the Nigerian Navy, Rear Admiral Katagum demonstrated exemplary leadership, strategic insight, and unwavering loyalty to the ideals and missions of the Nigerian Navy. His legacy will remain a source of inspiration to all personnel across the service. The Nigerian Navy extends its deepest condolences to his family, friends, and associates during these difficult times. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Nation newspaper with the headline, Navy loses chief of operations. Yes, and finally, on the Nation newspaper, talking Kano market fire, Adebayo seeks thorough probe, compensation for victims. And now to the details. Prominent politicians Prince Adewale Adebayo has expressed deep sympathy with the government and people of Kano State over the recent fire at Singa Market in Kano. The fire destroyed properties worth millions of naira and reportedly claimed several lives. In a statement on the internet, Adebayo described the fire as unfortunate and saddening, deeply saddening, noting that the strategic economic importance of Kano to Nigeria and wider Sahel region. He said, and I quote, we all know how important the Sea of Kano is to Nigeria and the entire Sahel. Any incident of the magnitude is not just the loss of victims, but to the nation as a whole. The market in Kano, which occurred days ago, raised several shops, goods, living traders devastated, families in mourning. Eyewitnesses said the fire spread rapidly through sections of the market, making it difficult for many traders to salvage the wares. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Nation newspaper with the headline, Kano market fire, Adebayo seeks thorough probe, compensation for victims. Yes, the program you're still onto is in the papers, coming to you from iPower 102.7 FM. a.m. You can watch us live on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at iPower1027 FM and on X at iPower1027. Right about now, we will take a short break. When we get back, we'll call it a wrap on the program this morning. Glad to have you back. Like I said earlier, the program you're still onto is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. And with that, we've come to a wrap on today's edition of In the Papers on your favorite dial. Until we hope this review has kept you informed of what is making rounds or making news in the papers today. Until next time, I am Inioluwa Adekoya. Many thanks for listening and God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
High Power 102.7 FM, the voice that echoes through every home, every heart. From the streets to the studio, we bring you real talk, real music, and real moments. We are not a station, we are a movement. High Power 102.7 FM.